my parallax here to entertain you with the help of crossfade. What I really meant to say is I'm sorry for the way I am. I never meant to be so cold. Never meant to be so. What I really meant to say is I'm sorry for the way I am. Listening to another one of those homemade CDs, one of many I've made over the years. I wanted to make a short one. This is actually going to be a precursor to a couple of videos that I'll probably post this weekend, Saturday. My father wants to make some videos. He had an epiphany recently, something involving today's society, and something that was in the news in the 70s pertaining to Charles Manson. He wants to talk about it. So I'm going to tell him, okay, we're going to do your video, and then I want to do a video with you, talking about something that I want to talk about with you, discussing something I want to talk about with you. And I'm gonna tell him I'm not going to make fun of you. I'll put in that effort. We won't be making. I'm not going to make fun of you, but I want you to explain to me why you wasted a pretty hefty portion of your life with a female drug addict. Because he told me recently that he believes that he, quote, beat the devil in a small way, because this drug addict girlfriend of his years ago, he saw something in her eye that told him that she was starting to believe that he loved her. And then shortly before she overdosed and died. So I says, I'm not going to make fun of you. I want to have a heart-to-heart, father-son conversation. Why did you waste X amount of years of your life with a female drug addict? Because I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. I wouldn't do it. And I'll tell them, there's plenty of, especially Western women, that would be happy to know that there are plenty of men like him. Not as many like me that wouldn't put up with that, but plenty of men like him that would put up with it. Devote all his effort to her and get nothing in return. There's plenty of females that would accept that. But anyways, I don't want this to be too long. I just wanted to stuff that might come up when I make this video with him. Other relationships he's had and everything. Another thing he said to me recently in our little visits, he said, I think we should, and I'm going to change the name of the guy for the sake of this video to Bob. He says, we should try to find Uncle Bob and see if maybe he wants to get together and talk and everything. Because that thing that happened, that was years ago. Talking about something that happened in the 80s when I was a child. When he says that thing that happened, he's referring to the fact that his former best friend in upbringing, in childhood, I don't know, or at least teenage years, whatever, this guy he knew, that's why he calls him Uncle Bob. He calls him Uncle something else, but I'm changing the name to protect the innocent. Anyways, the thing that happened that he's referring to that was a long time ago was the fact that this guy's wife left him for my father temporarily until she figured out he was a moron and left him. Not only that, but my father helped this woman kidnap her son from the father, his former best friend, Uncle Bob, the guy I'm calling Uncle Bob for the sake of this video. So, for a short period of time in my childhood, this was during Christmas time, I remember, for a short period of time, a couple of months, I had a stepsister, a stepbrother, and along with my two sisters, and part of the reason why I remember that the person is the woman is that year I got the Knight Rider car for Christmas. For a 7-year-old, that was the shit. But as I said, eventually he had several relationships when I was a kid, but eventually the women figure out he's a moron and they leave. I distinctly remember one day when she left, actually, when that woman left. It's branded in my memory, my father crying at the front door of my grandparents' house. Why do they always leave me? And I just know, just as a child, I just remember going home that day to our house and realizing that, wow, these people we had in our lives for this little bit of time, we're not going to have in our lives anymore. So that might come up when I'm having this conversation with my father. Yeah, but he has no perception that, you know, this guy, his former best friend from his own upbringing, who he betrayed by, you know, having a relationship with his wife. We should give him a call. Maybe he'll want to hang out and talk. Besides, that thing that happened, that was a long time ago. Oh, but anyways, I don't want this to be too long. I'm running out of room, and I got to get a new SD card yet. But I didn't want to end with a kind of sort of a joke. You remember the movie Pleasantville? Years ago, I think it came out in like the late 90s. It's basically centered around a TV show that was supposed to be a stereotypical 1950s utopia where all the characters are in black and white until they have like some sort of epiphany or awakening in life, whether it be, you know, spiritual, sexual, whatever. All the kids hung out at this kissing point, and that was all in color. And the characters that experienced this awakening turn to color in the movie, whereas everybody else is in black and white. I only saw this movie once or twice. Once at the theater, and then probably one more other time since then. But so my memory of it is vague. But I do remember this one scene in the movie because it relates to a memory my ma shared with me. A kind of a confession on her part when I first started living with her when I was 13. Anyways, the guy comes home from work in the movie. He's still in black and white. The wife is gone. She's already in color. She found herself or whatever. And he comes in, walks in the door. Honey, I'm home. Goes and she's nowhere to be seen. Goes into the next room. Honey, I'm home. Finally, I think like 20, 30 minutes later in the movie, this guy's still wandering around the house, going into all the rooms. Honey, I'm home. I remember watching that in the theaters. The audience got a bang out of that. It was funny for everybody. But it reminded me of a confession my mom made to me when I was 13 years old and I first started living with her. She told me that she got off on when my father would come home from work, she would purposely hide just to hear him go, honey, where are you? Now, for the record, my parents actually divorced twice, so. Anyways, so I look forward to these videos I'll be making Saturday with my father. So. That'll do it for this one. Mike Barrelak, thank you for your time.